what's up you guys, it's Sophie, and today I'm going to be talking about freshman year of college and any advice that I can possibly impart upon you guys. I get this question a lot in terms of what to expect, what not to expect, what to do, what not to do, so I made a list and hopefully I cover some things that you might be questioning. So first of all, so this is a pretty long list, I'm going to go through it pretty quickly, but my first piece of advice is to go, this is in a random order by the way, is to go to every club's open house as you possibly can during the first few weeks of school. There'll be like a club fair. You can go to different clubs' open houses, find out about them. Every club that you think you might even be marginally interested in, you should attend their open house. It's super helpful. It's a great way to make friends. It's a great way to make friends that have the same interest as you, and you can figure out where you really kind of fit in terms of extracurricular activities. You know, go to the different, frat or sorority things, go to the different singing clubs and mock trial clubs and debate clubs and newspaper clubs and all the clubs. Just like go to all their open houses and find out what they're all about, and you might be surprised what you actually end up liking. This is a don't. You should not skip class. I know that it is tempting when you are not technically required to be in a lot of classes. A lot of larger lectures, especially freshman year, don't take attendance, whereas when you get to the smaller classes, your professor will definitely notice if you're not there. But don't skip the larger lectures. They're still super important, and it's only gonna hinder you. It's just like not a good idea. Like, don't do it. My next thing is also a don't. Don't buy any school supplies. Maybe buy a notebook if you don't have one, but you probably have one to bring for the first week of class. Just bring your laptop and a notebook and a pen. That's all you should get before you start college, because your professor's going to say if you need something specific. Chances are you don't actually need anything more than a laptop and a notebook and a pen, so just don't buy any school supplies. You don't need them. My only tip is to maybe buy highlighters if you're somebody who likes to highlight their textbooks. My next tip is to make friends with your roommates. You're going to have to live with these people, or this person, these people, depending on if you're in a suite or not, for the whole year, and even if you maybe have really different interests, different majors, like you don't think you're going to click, just try to make friends with them, because it's going to be beneficial for you in the long run when you're living with this person all year. Be strategic about planning your classes every semester, so try to plan ahead as many years as you can in terms of what classes you need to take, because like I know for me, there are certain requirements that we have that you want to get out of the way earlier on. Like we have to take 2 semesters of a language for my major, and language classes at NYU are typically 3 days a week versus a more typical class would be 2 days a week. So as you get further into your college career, you might want to intern, you might want to work, things that are going to take up your time other than classes. So take those 3-day-a-week classes earlier on in freshman year if you can, or sophomore year, and then save certain kinds of classes, maybe that are 1 day a week, for later. And you want to be strategic when you're planning those sorts of things in terms of looking at your whole college timeline. This is a random one, but make use of the free gym that you have, because I feel like that's a super important thing. Like you have all of these like gym facilities open to you, whereas usually you'd have to pay to be a member at a gym, and obviously you're paying for college, you're paying for the gym, but you should definitely take advantage of it. Sort of going along with that, take advantage of actually free things on campus. When clubs are hosting free events and things like that, there's going to be food, there's going to be people you can meet, to make new friends, and you should definitely be taking advantage of those free events on campus. All the events. Go to all the events you possibly can. Chances are they'll have, an event on Facebook. You can say that you're maybe going, and then just say that you're maybe going to like every event possible, so that way you're always reminded, and you never know who you might meet, or, if anything, it's just some free food. One tip is to not intern your freshman year. Obviously, some people need to work their freshman year just to have money. I recommend trying as hard as possible to not work your freshman year, and I strongly suggest to not try to intern your freshman year. First of all, most internships are not looking for people who are that young. They probably will start hiring summer after freshman year. Even that's kind of young for a lot of companies, but it's just important, I think, to take the time to experience college without trying to work. And I didn't work my freshman year. I did my first internship summer after freshman year, and I found that really, really beneficial, and I highly recommend it. Another random one, but you should get an external hard drive, which is what this is. I have a 1 terabyte external hard drive, and it is absolutely fabulous. You're going to have, depending on what kind of student you are, obviously, but you're definitely going to have a lot of documents, but if you're an art student or something, you might have a lot of video files, photo files, Photoshop files, anything like that, and you're going to just have a lot of files in general, and I just really recommend backing them up on an external hard drive. That way you also won't waste space on your computer, but you'll know you have them backed up, and it's just like one of the best things I've ever bought for college. If you hate your major, it's totally okay to change it. People change their majors all the time, as well as people transfer to different colleges all the time. Those two things I feel like are kind of taboo if you are changing your major or changing your college. People don't want to admit that they don't like where they are, that they chose the wrong thing, but it's super, super common to change your mind on those sorts choice of things and you're not locked in at all. Within schools, it's usually pretty easy to change your major, and even if you're super unhappy, just consider transferring. In the long run, even though in the short run it's really difficult, in the long run it's going to be worth it. And just like, don't be afraid to admit that you actually hate what you chose to study. Probably not going to have a lot of privacy in your room anymore. Just kind of give up on that idea and try to find privacy in other places. So whether it's your favorite spot in the library, or maybe your major, your department has a study lounge in their building, you know, try to find those little quiet areas that are you can have your own space, because chances are in your room you have to give up all forms of privacy. This is a random one also, but don't post things about your professors on social media. Companies are looking at your social media, and it's just like not a good idea to be bashing professors, bashing, you know, former employers, things like that. It's gonna come back to you. My last piece of advice is to not be afraid to go to your professor's office hours / email your professor / debate a grade with your professor. I know people find professors really intimidating. They don't want to question them. They don't even want to seek help from them because they're intimidated. Please don't be afraid to go to your professor's office hours. They have office hours for a reason. They are encouraging you to come seek help from them. And I know people are sometimes afraid to email the professor if they want to, you know, if they think they got the wrong grade on something, or even if they just need help. It's always worth trying, and a lot of times I've had professors change grades where I've debated something, I've given a valid reason, and a professor has been like, yeah, you're right, you do deserve half a letter grade higher, or whatever. And you just don't be, you know, your professors are real humans. You don't have to be afraid to email them or speak to them about any trouble you're having in the class. They're, you know, they want to help you. They're your teacher. So yeah, I know a lot of people are really intimidated by professors and also scared to send professors emails, but just go for it. It'll work out. Those are all my tips in terms of what to do and not to do freshman year of college. I hope you found them helpful. I know it was a totally random list, but it was just things that I was thinking of that I did or didn't do that I recommend or don't recommend. And yeah, please leave your recommendations and tips in the comments below, and also feel free to ask any questions that you may have, and I'll do my best to answer them. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Bye!